Okay, Bismillah. We'll be recording ayah number 78 of Surah an-Nisa, inshallah, in this video. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Ne. Ne is one count, just like nest, light, not na, but ne. Aina ma. Two counts. We open the mouth, stretch open the mouth. Aina ma. Te ku. So te, once again, light, not ta, not a, but e. E. Just like egg. Te. One count though, we won't say te ku. We want to keep it short. Te ku. Te ku. For this one, the lips extend forward, and then nu, lips extend forward. Ku nu. Same exact length for both of them. Te ku nu. أينما تكونوا. Here, yud. We're doing the qalqala on the dal. When we join, we're bouncing on the dal because dal is one of those 5 qalqala letters, which are ba, jim, dal, ta, and qaf, right? When we join with them, we bounce. So yud. But we want to make sure we're not saying yud. We don't want to let it stick. We hit that point of articulation and immediately move it off. Yud. Rik. And now here, yud, and then we have ri. What do we do with this ri? We see a calf here with nothing on it and it's grayed out. But I want you to imagine it not grayed out. Why? Because anywhere where you're able to see, where let's say you're reading from a mushaf that doesn't have this graying out and this color coding, you want to know what to do, right? Instead of getting that hint. So here, if this was not grayed out and you saw a calf, and right after it, we see another calf, right? So we remember that this is idgham mutamathilain. When two letters, if you remember, we talked about this in class, when two letters are the same right next to each other, and the first one had a sukun originally. So instead of reading this first one by itself and saying rik first and then ku here with this vowel, next we combine both letters into one. So we're skipping this one and combining both calves into this. How do we have both calves in there? Because first we're joining rik, that's our first calf. Then the second, we're saying ku, calf with dhamma, ku. So, but now it's supposed to be one smooth sound because it is combined. So rikku, yudrikku, mu, mul. Mu, we're jumping over the hamzatul wasl, joining with the lam. Mul. So yudrikumul mautu. So mau. Instead of saying mo, we don't want to start with the ma sound. We don't want to say mo. We want to start with the meh, light sound, meh, the mustafil sound, right? Because meme is a mustafil letter, a light letter. So we start with meh, just like men, meh, met, men, meh. So meu, we curve the mouth. Mautu, yudrikumul mautu. And then low, low into one smooth sound. We don't want to say low. Not we won't open the mouth. We won't say we. We say low. Here, kuntum. What's happening here? We're doing the ikhfa. We're preparing for the ta, right? We'll hide our noon here. And when we hide our noon, what are we doing? We're not letting the tongue touch the noon spot. And we are bringing our tongue and mouth into place to say the ta. So kun. Now my tongue is very close to the ta spot. Kuntum. So walau kuntum fi. We give it the ya. It's full space. Fee. Fi. Walau kuntum fi buru. Bu. One count. Ru, two counts. Buru, not buru, but then because then both would be two counts, right? So buru, jin, buru, jin. But what do we have to do here? We join with the meme. Buru, jim, and do gunna for two counts. Remember to press down for two counts. Fi buru, jim, mu, shay. Here, sheen joining with the ya, shay. Then ya with this fatha. Yeah. Shayya. Mushayya. Then we have datin. Datin. Mushayyadatin. Yada. We want to keep both short. Yada, not yada or yada, but yada. Mushayyadatin. But what happens? This is a qili. What do we do on a qili? It's preferable to stop, but it's perfectly fine to continue. So let's say we were stopping here on the qili. What would happen to the ta marbuta when we have this ha with the two dots? It's called the ta marbuta. And when we stop on the ta marbut, normally we just read it like a ta, tin, right? The same sound as a ta. But when we stop on it, it turns into a ha and gets a sukun. So we join with it as a ha. So deh. So deh, joining with the ha. Deh. Mushayyadah. So the phrase is وَلَوْ كُنْتُمْ فِي بُرُوجٍ مُشَيَّدَةٍ. And if we didn't stop here, what would happen? We would need to blend into the wow, right? So how do we do that? We have tin and we have a wow. We need to do idgham. We need to blend because whenever we have kasratain, dammatain, or fathatain, meaning in, an, or un, any in, an, un sound, then we have a wow or a ya. We need to blend it, right? So what do? We take out one of these vowels. So what are we starting with? We're starting with the T sound, T. And then here we have a wow. So we join it with the wow. So you can think of it like T, E, T, then a W, because wow is like a W, right? So T, E, W, tew. But in the nose. Tew, mushayyadatew. And then once we blend, and we're gonna do it, have that stress there for 2 counts, right? Tew. Now we have to read our wow with the fatah. Wa in, right? But we're preparing for this ta and we're doing ikhfa here. We're hiding the noon. So actually we won't say in clearly. We're not going to say our noon clearly, right? We're going to hide it and prepare for this ta. Wa in. So what are we doing? Hiding our noon, preparing for the ta, stressing for 2 counts. Wa into slib. So two sliba. We're bouncing on the ba because ba is one of those 5 qalqala letters, just like dal. So ba, jim, dal, ta, qaf. So we're bouncing. Sliba. We're not saying slib, right? We're not pressing the lip. We're just letting the lip hit sliba and bounce off. Wa into sliba hum hasana. So here we have 3 vowels, short vowels, right after each other. So we want to think back to our reading of book 1, reader 1, where we had those 3 letters with their vowels and how we would evenly read all of them with the exact same length. Hasana, hasana. We won't say hasana, no, or hasana. We want to make sure all 3 are even and 1 count each. Hasana, tun, hasana, tun. So, وَإِن تُصِبْهُمْ حَسَنَةٌ. But what do we see here? We have to blend with the ya because when we were here, what did we talk about? That if we have any n, in, or un sound, and then we have a wow or a ya right after it, we need to do idgham. We need to blend. So here, what are we seeing? We have an un, right? Tun. And we have a ya right after it. So now we need to blend. How will we do that? We take away one of these vowels, right? And we say two, two. So we're starting with like a T-O-O or T-O, two, because there's no exact equivalent sound in English. So two. Then we have, or at least in when we're writing in transliteration. So T, so we have a two sound and then we have a yeah. So that's like a Y. So two, starting two, and then Y, tui. But in the nose, because this other one that we're dropping, we're saying it kind of in our nose. Tui. We're saying the noon sound that we're dropping into our nose. So hasana tui. Now that we've blended, we need to read the yeah with this vowel. Yeah, short, not yeah, not yeah or yeah. We don't want a sound. We want a sound, just like yet. Yeah, yet, yeah. Yeah, qu long. Yeah is 1 count. Qu 2 counts. Yeah, qu lu. Qu and lu, same exact length. Yeah, qulu. So وإن تصبهم حسنة يقولوا هذه. Two counts, one count. هذه. Two counts, one count, two counts. هذه من. No hiding our noon here because we see the sukun telling us. We're going to say it clearly. هذه من عندي. So what are we doing here? We are hiding our noon, preparing for this dal by bringing our mouth into place, our tongue, our teeth, whatever needs to go into place to say the dal, right? Bringing them into place and then making the sound of the noon in our nose. And stressing for two counts. عندي من عند الله. So here also I want to point out this is an idhar letter here, ayn. Remember when do we make the noon sound clearly instead of min? Why are we saying min clearly? Because here we have one of those 6 letters of idhar, which are ha, kha, ayn, ghain, hamza, and ha. Where if we have that coming right next, then and we have an in or un sound. You see here we don't have tanween. We don't have two kasras, two fathas, or two dhammas, but the sound essentially is the same, min, right? Because if we had a meme with two kasras, it would be min. So if we have this in sound, min, now, and then right after that, we have one of these 6 izhar letters. We don't hide our noon. Instead of saying min in, we say min indi, right? And then we join with Allah's name. When we're joining kasra, Allah's name will be light. Indillahi. And if we stop here, because there's a silly here, a silly doesn't require us to stop. It's not even preferable to stop. When there's a silly, in a qili, it's preferable to stop. In a silly, it's preferable to continue, but perfectly permissible to stop. So we can say, Indillah. We can pull it 4 counts or 6 counts long, and making sure we place a sukoon on the ha and stop there. And especially when we're stopping on Allah's name, we want to elevate Allah's name and elongate, and then stop on the ha. Min indillah. And then we continue. Even if we continued, we wouldn't blend with the waw. Why? Because we don't have hin here, right? We just have he. When we have one vowel before a waw or a ya, we don't blend. So continuing from here. Wa in. Same thing we had up here. And actually we're going to hide the noon. Wa in tusibhum. Wa in tusibhum. Sayyi. Sin, fatha, joining into the ya. Say. Then the ya with this kasra. Yi. We won't make it long. We won't say yi. We want to keep it short. Sayyi. Atun. Atun. Sayyi'atun. So, وَإِن تُصِبْهُمْ سَيِّئَةٌ, and we want to also pay attention to how the word sounds flow between the words, right? And then here we have tun, but we see that we have a ya next, just like we had back here. We had a tun and a ya, so we need to blend, right? So we're going to start with the tu sound and go into the ya, tui, but in the nose, tui, tui. So it's a u sound, tu. We're starting off with one of those vowels with the ta, tu, and going into the y of the ya, tu, going into y, tui, but in the nose, tui, tui, sayyi'atui, and then we read the ya with this fatha, ya, one count, just like yet, ya, qulu, qu and lu, same exact length, mat tabi'i, the lips stretching forward, yaqulu. وَإِن تُصِبْهُمْ سَيِّئَةٌ يَقُولُوا, and making sure to keep the lu long. Sometimes when we say it long, we say يَقُولُوا, but then when we're going into the next word, we might say يَقُولُوا and shorten it. But no, we want to let the sound take up its full space. يَقُولُوا هَذِهِ. Ha, we open the mouth, stretch open the mouth. The, one count. He, 2 counts again. 2 counts, 1 count, 2 counts. هذه. Min, again. idhar letter. So we're not going to hide our noon. Min indika. So هذه من عندك. But if we want to stop here, we can stop on the jim, right? It's an optional stop. So then we'd say عندك. Then قل, just like we have in قل هو الله أحد. قل كل. This is kaf, dhamma, lam. Kaf, dhamma, joining with the lam. Kul, and then the lam with this tanween. Kullun. But we see here we have a meme. We need to join. Kullum. So we join kaf, dhamma with the lam. Kul. Then we read the lam with its vowel. And we join with the meme. Instead of saying lun, we'll say lum. Kul, kullum. So we're doing the ghunna by pressing for 2 counts. We're doing the ghunna. Then min. After joining with the meme, we'd read the meme with this vowel, right? So قُلْ كُلٌّ مِّنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ. Kind of just like up here. So min, we have our idhar letter. عين. We're gonna do ikhfa here, hide our noon, prepare for the dal, stress for 2 counts. عندي. And join the D, the kasra, into Allah's name. And when we join Allah, kasra with Allah's name, what happens? Allah's name is light. So Indillah. And we want to elongate and elevate Allah's name. So this phrase together will be قُلْ كُلٌّ مِّنْ عِنْدِ اللَّهِ. Fa, just like fed, fa, short, fama. We want to smooth them together. Say them smoothly together. 1 count, 2 counts. Fama, not fama, but fama, fa, short. Li, famali. This word here we have 2 full wajib mads, meaning we need to make this 5 counts long, and then we have this one here 5 counts long. Why are both 5 counts long? And why are they both wajib, meaning must mads? Because when the hamza that is activating that mad and causing it to happen when that hamza is in the same word, we have to, the etiquette is to make it, we have to elongate the med, that's a must, but then the etiquette is to make it 5 count. So here this hamza is activating this med, this hamza right here is activating this med. So we're going to make both 5 counts long. Ha-u-la-i. So we had ha, then the hamza here sitting on its share of wow, it has a dhamma, u. So ha-u, then la-i. The E will join with the lam. Jump over the Hamzatul Wasl, join with this lam. Il. So, فَمَا لِهَؤُلَاءِ الْقَوْمِ قَوْمِ قَوْمِ لا يَكَا. You see how ya is short? Ka is the same exact length as la. لا يَكَا. Not la يَكَا. We want to keep the ya short, just like yet. Yeah. لا يكادون. So you see the do, same exact length as ka and as la. So we have that smoothness, evenness of rhythm. لا يكادون. So فما لهؤلاء القوم لا يكادون. And here the qawmi, we want to pay attention and not make, so if I'm saying el qawmi la, so I'm not going to say qawmi la, right? Because the me will get too long. And you might think we're not saying that, but the thing is that if we don't pay attention, we might say that. Why? Because when we're still working on our fluency, we say each word by itself. And when we say the word by itself, it gets a little bit longer. So then it's good to practice putting them together. Al-qawmi la, not al-qawmi la, but al-qawmi la yakaduna. Yef, light, not yef, not ya, but ye, just like yet. Yef, Y-E-F, yef, qa, qa, nice and sticky. Qa, short, not qa, but qa. Yef, qa. Who, we stretch our lips forward, ne. يفقهون. Ha, D, long. حديثا حديثا. When we stop with one fatha and alif, we make this one count, two counts long, the last sound. Fa. Instead of then, we say fa. And we don't say hadith, we do pronounce that one of the fathas with the alif when there's two fathas. Remember, and this doesn't happen with two dhammas, it doesn't happen with two kasras, just with two fathas that we read one of them with two dhammas and two kasras. We don't read either of them when we stop. So, يفقهون حديثا. So we want to pay attention to the length of this. We won't say يفقهون حديثا, no. نحدي يفقهون حديثا. Okay, so I'm going to read this, inshallah, in tahqiq first, slowly, and then at a normal pace, inshallah. So, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. أينما تكونوا يدرككم الموت ولو كنتم في بروج مشيدة وإن تصبهم حسنة يقولوا هذه من عند الله. My breath didn't hold enough to pull it long enough, but I was trying to pull it four. عند الله. And getting the H sound, the hat sound at the end. وَإِن تُصِبْهُمْ سَيِّئَةٌ يَقُولُوا هَذِهِ مِنْ عِندِكَ قُلْ كُلٌّ مِنْ عِندِ اللَّهِ. And I'm stopping at every one of the stopping places because of my breath, but you don't have to. فَمَالِ هَؤُلَاءِ الْقَوْمِ لَا يَكَادُونَ يَفْقَهُونَ حَدِيثًا. My breath ran out again. يَفْقَهُونَ حَدِيثًا. Okay, now I'll read it at a normal pace, inshallah. Like, for example, if we're reading to ourselves, once our, we can read slower too, but often, or if we're reciting in our salah, or we're reciting Surah Al-Kahf or Friday, once the fluency has developed, inshallah, then how would we probably what is a medium pace? Not too fast, not too slow. We might say, for example, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. أينما تكونوا يدرككم الموت ولو كنتم في بروج مشيدة. But you see, I'm still emphasizing the meme and our إخفاء. وإن تصبهم حسنة يقولوا هذه من عند الله وإن تصبهم سيئة يقولوا هذه من عندك قل كل من عند الله فما لهؤلاء القوم لا يكادون يفقهون حديثا. So I started to say something else here because there's another place in the Quran where it's قل كل من عند الله and then something else. So, but it's فما لهؤلاء. Okay, inshallah. So this is the end of ayah number 78 of Surah an-Nisaa. Alhamdulillah.